Hey guys, my name is Micaiah Taylor, and today we will be doing my practical exam. I am in Mr. Price 6th 1101 class, so let's get started. The first method I will be showing you is the 8421 method, and basically with that method, if you don't use it, you put a 0. If you do use it, you put a 1. For example, 3, using the 8421 method, you would put 0011 because you used 2 and 1. You added those together and you got 3. So for 4, you would use 0100 because you didn't have to add anything together to get 4 because it was already in that method. Then the next number would be 0100 again. For 932, it would be 1001, 0011, 0010. For 897, it would be 1000, 1001, 0111. For 751, it will be 0111, 0101, 0001. For 586, it'll be 01, 1000, 0110. For 299, it will be 0010, 1001, 1001. For 875, it will be 1000, 0111, 0101. The next method I'm going to show you all is called the hexadecimal to decimal method. So, you will multiply 1 times 11 because 11 equals B. Then you multiply 16 times 10 because 160, it equals 160. And 8 equals 10. Then you will continue on to do 256 times 7 and you will get 1792. Then you would do 4096 times 9 and get 36,864. Then you will multiply 65, 55, 36 times 3, and you will get 1966.08. When you add all those together, you get 235,435. Then you go over to then you go over to 2ABD. Like I said, you always multiply that first number or letter times 1. D equals 13. So you multiply 1 times 13. Then you would do 16 times 11 and you would get 176. Then you would do 256 times 10 and get 2,560. Then you multiply 4096 times 2 and you get 8,192. When you add all those together, you get 10,941. To our last problem, you have 875 DAB. Like I said, you always multiply the first letter or number times 1. So it would be 11 times 1 because 11 equals B. Then you would do 16 times 10 and get 160 because 10 equals A. Then you would do 13 times 256 and you get 3,328. Then you go on to do 5 times 4096 will give you 20,480. Then you would do 7 times 65, 55, 36, and you would get 458,752. I'm sorry. Then you will multiply you will multiply 10, 48, 57, 6 times 8, and you get 8 million. I'm sorry. You will get 838,8608. So let's go on to our next portion of this exam. I'm sorry. So, this demonstrates how the network will work if you have a PAN Wi-Fi at home. So, PAN equals personal area network. So here, this is like a Wi-Fi that's at a house or like a small business. So the connection goes from the router, then it goes to the internet, and then this is all what the internet is connected to. The computers and the phone, that's basically how it would be set up. Let's go to the next one. Then we will be talking about the subsystem. The subsystem that I picked was a CPU. The CPU is a central processing unit that executes and retrieves all program instructions. The two main units of the CPU are the control unit and the ALU. The ALU performs all of the arithmetic operations and logic operations according to the program's instructions. The control unit manages the on and off switches inside of the CPU. You can measure the CPU performance with architecture, clock rate, and the number of cores. The number and type of cores, I'm sorry. The virus that I picked was the boost sector virus. The boost sector virus is a virus that compromises all files which are required to start up the operating system of a computer. The virus is either overwrites the existing program or copies it itself to another part of the disk. The booster sector virus is especially dangerous as it seizes control of the computer system and system before the antivirus mechanisms can reactivate. So this is how you find your IP address. So one second. In order to find your IP address on a computer, you first will have to make sure that you're connected to the internet. Then you click on click on the settings and go to your Wi-Fi settings. Under the Wi-Fi settings, you should be able to see hard drive properties. Click on the hard drive properties and then you will see your IP address. For safety reasons, I didn't use my own IP address, but here's an example of what the IP address will look like. On to the next part, you guys. So this chart shows this chart shows a program for a fourth grade program game for students. So first, when you sign in, you will sign into the game, and then it will ask you what grade are you in. It will say 4th grade, ? Then it will give you the options to click yes or no. If you click no, it will tell you to go see a teacher. Then if you click yes, it will take you on into the program. So when you click yes, you get addition. And then you would do your assignment. If you have 25 out of those 30 correct, you will move on to the next stage. If you do not, you will go to you will go to the review to review and then re-answer. So it will show you like you will review all your work. Next thing we have on the agenda. Next thing we have on the agenda is called Catching Joe Loan Shark, and how I caught Joe Loan Shark. So I caught Joe Loan Shark because I followed his patterns, that when he was on his journey, I followed his patterns and his mistakes that he made. So the first breadcrumb that he left, the first victim that Joe had was a college student, and he called and offered Joe a loan, and Joe called and offered him a loan, and Joe got all his card information and everything. But what Joe messed up was he used the victim's credit card to order a package to his new location in Arizona. The second breadcrumb was when Joe made it to he made it to California. When Joe made it to California, Joe had did credit card fraud. With his second victim, Joe was caught on the surveillance cameras at a public library stealing the second victim's credit card information, which helped me find where Joe is. Back to I left out some details. So with the first breadcrumb Joe left, I was able to find where Joe's location was, and also I was able to get the recording of the voice message Joe and the first victim had, which I was able to use voice recognition to figure out who Joe was and what he looked like. I put out an APP for Joe, and that's where he was later seen in California in the library. And the LAPD sent over the surveillance footage with Joe information, and that's what led us to find out that Joe bought a bus ticket with the second victim's with the second victim's card, which led us to know that Joe went to Texas. So while in Texas, Joe was a few days ahead of us, so we got there kind of late. But we figured out that Joe had switched up his MO. Joe had killed a person, which we didn't think that it was Joe, because that wasn't Joe's original MO. But Joe killed somebody, and he was caught on surveillance camera in an alley killing this person. But by the time we figured out it was Joe, he had fled the state. But Joe, before he left the victim's side, Joe killed the man, and he texted the victim's mother, Michael Allen's mother, Mrs. Allen. He texted her and asked for Joe's social security number, in which Mrs. Allen gave Joe. And later we found out that Mr. Michael Allen's information, his social security, everything popped up in Mexico, which led us to Mexico to find where Joe was. When we got to Mexico, we were able to make a phone call. We were able to track Joe's location using the information that we had got from Michael Allen's social security. We were able to find the phone that he has gotten in that man's social security number. His identity was stolen by Joe. And when we got there, on March 25th, 2009, we were able to bust Joe, and we were finally able to take him into custody. Thank you. Have a good day.